Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Talking Lead, episode 55. I can't believe it's episode 55. Time is going by so fast with all these episodes. But tonight we are talking about the Shakeup Part 2. Now, this is not just geared towards AEW wrestlers. We're going to include wrestlers from AEW, TNA, and WWE. We're going to talk a lot about gimmicks. We're going to talk about Shakeup, where we'd like to see wrestlers be this year in 2024. Just kind of dreaming it, kind of booking it our own way. We want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We're very excited to be here. So before we get to tonight's subject, as always, let me introduce you guys to our panel tonight. Joining us all the way from the cold Midwest of Wisconsin. Hopefully she's got everything figured out. She's one of our favorite cue card girls. It's Miss Danny. Danny, how you doing today?
Good. I have smaller cue cards.
Yeah. Oh, now we have to lean forward so we can read them.
Yeah.
Thank you, 49ers. Sorry, Detroit. Yeah, Chicago Bears stopped hiring. It wasn't.
I mean, they've been hiring like everybody, which is going to help, but sell the damn team. You want to win, sell the team. Okay.
Yeah.
It gets really good. Okay. So.
Okay.
Where could Enzo be?
He's been shaking it up in OVW.
Okay.
He needs to be with Ricky and Bill. Make it happen, please.
Okay. And this one in honor of something I saw today about the Big Show, and his needs are really bad. Bye-bye, Cucamonga. See you later.
Those are great cue cards.
Thank you.
Also joining us tonight, two of them actually. We'll start with our regular Twitch streamer herself. She's very awesome, always joining us for a laugh and always some new insights. So we welcome Siren.
Hello, I'm super happy. I always love when I have Danny on because then I am not the only kitty in the house.
There you go. Perfect.
And there's a kitty sitting right next to me too, Siren, just FYI.
And joining us tonight for the first time, a new member of our team. He's going to be pretty much part of AEZ Canada, but he can join us here anytime on the state show. So please welcome our other friend from the north, Amir Ali. Amir, thank you for joining us, buddy.
You're welcome. It's Amer, but I don't mind. That's fine.
Amer. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't know the way it's spelled.
It's fine. No worries.
It's fine.
Okay.
And then finally, of course, tonight joining us, I say this every time. I'm going to keep saying it. Without him, none of this is possible. He's one of our favorite producers, and he's the man that puts the plan together, and he's one of our favorite Connors. Connor.
All right.
I do this to whenever I see JR, I do this. I'll do this for Connor too, and Adam.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks. So we are doing the Shakeup Part 2. We've had a couple of episodes of this where we do gimmick changes and actually just shake up of free agency. I mean, we just saw it recently with a lot of wrestlers going to different promotions, end of 2023, going into 2024. And we're already a month and a couple days into 2024 with all these wrestlers being in new promotions. I kind of want to get, before going to our discussion about who we like to see change up and all that stuff, I want to get your guys' thoughts on what we've seen so far from all the wrestlers that switched promotions so far. Obviously, we've had Nick Namath in TNA. We've seen Trinity come back in WWE, CM Punk come back in WWE, and you've also seen, Jack Perry make some appearances in New Japan. So we're seeing wrestlers in all different promotions. I just want to get your guys' take on it. I guess I'll start with you first, Connor. What's your take on all these wrestlers, showing up in these and how they've been showing?
Personally, one of my favorites have been Nick Nemeth and TNA. I really like the promo that just cut. Steve Macklin said, years down the road, the only thing they're going to remember is whatever happened to Dolph Ziggler. That was a really, really good line, and that's actually kind of true. Like, I love Dolph Nemeth, but that's really true. There's been a lot of interesting. Like, I would never picture Ziggler in a different company. It's just very weird. We just had Trinity Naomi. She just returned to WWE at the Royal Rumble. It's good to see her back. We possibly might be having some debuts in AEW pretty soon. Who else? Andrade just made his way back to WWE. I really, really love that. I really like Andrade. And I know it's not 2024, but even Edge in AEW, that's very, very weird seeing him not in WWE. Just something that you never would have thought would have happened. But Yeah, I think some of them has been really good and some of them not so good. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. And I'm going to try to say it again. Armor. Am I saying it right?
Aimer.
Aimer.
Aimer. Just say
Long
aim
A.
and her.
Single
Aim
single
and
bullet
her.
club.
Yes.
Yes.
Aim at her. Okay. So Aimer,
There you go.
my
Yes.
question to you, first of all, thank you for joining us for the first time. I'm very excited. We always like new people and new perspectives on the wrestling state. But my question to you is, I mean, like Connor said, we're seeing all these wrestlers re-debuting in promotions. Which one has stuck out to you so far that you feel like 2024 is going to be a good year for them?
Boy, it's really too early to tell as far as I see, but you know what? One that I think could be really, really underrated is Mustafa Ali. He's he's still young enough to really kind of make a difference, I think. And I don't know if he's actually even kind of found his spot yet. But it's interesting. I often think about people who, and I know that's all we're discussing right now, but just kind of said as an example, people who have left promotions, notably who have left WWE for one reason or the other, been let go. Like people like Swerve, people like Tony Storm. People who have been able to reinvent their characters and really make something out of it and seize the opportunity. And I really see that Mustafa Ali is in a good position to do that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this year.
I'm loving this whole idea of his campaigning, going to different promotions, saying I'm gonna save pro wrestling in different promotions. This is my campaign slogan for you. Obviously, using it during an election year here in the States. So I think it's a great idea, and like he gets to flex a little bit now on free agency. That he could probably do some great matches. I'd love to see what he does here from here on out. Siren,
a unique character, just to kind of bring that full circle. Make yourself a unique character, and that's what he's doing, and that's what I really like.
No, absolutely. Now, Siren, we talk about the guys, but the girls too. There's a lot of girls that have just switched. We just mentioned, Trinity, Naomi coming back to WWE, and then you had the forbidden door of Jordan Grace appearing at the Royal Rumble. And now you've got Deonna Purrazzo in AEW. So, I mean, for you, how does that feel for you? I mean, who do you feel is really showing up in the promotions that just debuted in the women's division?
I mean, I love Deonna. Hi, Mr. John Moxley. I love Deonna. I think that she's cool. I'm really super stoked to see what she's going to do in the women's division. And as I mentioned before, I'm super glad that she's coming in and not just like steamrolling everything. She's showing really nice. She's giving other ladies like really good showings. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about her. I'm super stoked to see what they're going to do with Jade Cargill. I thought that she had a great showing at the Rumble. And I see a lot of people out there who are like, she's still so rough around the edges. And I'm going to say it again. Watch her older stuff, my guys. Like, she is doing so much better. And I can only see her doing better and better as time goes on in WWE. And as like a massive AEW fan, like, yeah, guys, I grew up with the older stuff. I know, and everybody knows. But my passion lies in AEW and ROH. And I really do think that she's going to do better with WWE. They're going to give her that little bit of extra time and polish that she needs. And I think she's going to do great things. I'm very excited to watch.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think the debut at the Royal Rumble was a good way to kind of reintroduce her to the WWE universe.
She looks strong.
And she looked really good. It's nothing against her. I think, again, it's just more time in the ring and put her there just to kind of remind people, hey, this girl is still new to our promotion, but hey, she's still here. This is still a big time, and she had a good showing, and coming down to the last three, I did not expect her to be the last three in the Royal Rumble.
So Nia and just was so like nothing. She looks so good. So good.
Right.
I just loved it.
And I think Jade does fit into that WWE mold. Amer, you got something respond?
Yeah, no, I was going to say that part was really good, showing her ability to take care of a bigger lady like Nia, and then having somebody like that. Like I noticed at the very end that when at the final stage, like right at the very end, Bailey was like kind of talking to her quietly, like, okay, here's what we're doing, right? And she's got people like that who can guide her.
It looked
It's gonna be
really
so
good.
important, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so she's in a great position. I think Siren's right on.
Yeah, and my question, moving on to Danny now. Danny, with all these different wrestlers in the promotions, coming off what Amer just said about doing these promotions with people that have been there for a long time, these veterans in those locker rooms, you know, are you going to see that? Are you going to see that these veterans, even though these people moving to promotions have been in the business for a long time, do you see them kind of helping up the new people within that promotion?
I do want to just kind of go on record that I've been really laying low, like with a lot of wrestling because of the health thing going on, which everything was fine. So I was on a black coffee, virtually no food. And when I'm watching the Rumble, I like literally almost dropped the breadstick because number one, Jade Cargill came out. I didn't expect to see her. And I agree with Siren that she did amazing. I didn't think she was going to be one of the final three. And I like to do like the first two entrants and then the final four and then the winner. I was right that Bailey won, but she looked great. And who knew that she needed to have additional wrestling training? I mean, we didn't really see that in AEW. And again, the whole thing with her and Bianca, and that's something I want to see. But then when she threw Nia out, I'm like, holy crap, Jade's here. Okay. And I'm just waiting for Charlotte to come back because that's going to be that I feel like her and Jade are going to be an interesting mix together in a ring.
Right.
I think Charlotte would be the one to make her look good.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just that the injury bug hit so hard, you know, unfortunately, we won't see Charlotte for a while. And now, again, you know, bringing that up, you know, Punk has hurt himself, and now he may be out for a while. I know Rollins probably won't have a match till Mania if he recovers from that knee. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's a great opportunity to see new matches that you've never seen before in WWE, but also like we talked about with Deonna Purrazzo, we're seeing matches in AEW in the women's division we won't be able to see, but it also goes the same for the men. Siren, it looks like you want to say something because you looked excited.
I'm just super excited for the whole women's division in AEW right now. I feel like we're getting to that point where we're starting to get elevated.
Right. So kind of moving on tonight now for the topic. Again, we're doing a shakeup. Right now, we're going to do something different. I know before we do it a lot with AEW, but again, we're going to start off with just promotion stuff. Like I said, that's my leeway into this. We're seeing new wrestlers and new promotions. We'll start with you, Connor. We're going to go around the room, and anybody listening, watching, want to chime in with the comments. We're going to go over, you know, male wrestlers in TNA, WWE, and AEW that you like to see switched around promotions. Then we'll go over female wrestlers and tag teams, and then we'll go over gimmick changes. So for right now, we'll start with male wrestler in WWE you'd like to see go to a different promotion, Connor.
Ooh, for me, it would probably be Finn Balor. I really don't want him to leave because the Judgment Day is really getting good now. I'm starting really to get into it, but if I had to choose someone, probably Finn Balor. I'd like to see him, and I don't think him and Kenny Omega has really had a up-to-date match. I don't know if they've ever won against each other. If they have, it was a long time ago. I like to see Finn Balor or Prince Devitt versus Kenny Omega. There's a lot of guys he could go against in AEW. Yeah, I was going to say Drew McIntyre, but it'd probably be top from Drew McIntyre and Balor, but most definitely Finn Balor. There's a lot of dream matches that I like to see. Balor and Will Ospreay. Finn Balor going to AEW for me.
Yeah. And we'll go around and get everybody's response to that. So, Amer, your response to Finn Balor in AEW?
Finn Balor in AEW. I think it could be really interesting. It's Finn Balor's kind of stuck in kind of no man's land, right? I mean, he's just kind of like, floundering a little bit kind of with the Judgment Day. And if that's going to break up, which I think it has to break up, I think, that could be very interesting. It could be a good move for him. It really depends on what his overall goal is, right? If he feels that he's one of those guys like Adam Copeland, who is like, okay, been there, done that, now let me go have some fun. Yeah, I think that could be great for him.
Siren, your take on Finn Balor to AEW?
I like Finn Balor. I like Finn Balor's personality. Most of his characters, like kind of like I don't know. He has that face, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He's the most fortunate looking person that I've ever seen. It's just like I never know what to feel about him. I would love to see him in AEW though, because he is a great wrestler. And I do love a lot of his character work that I have seen, and I just think it'd be really cool to throw him in there with everybody. I think it'd be neat. So I'd be down for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Even TNA.
And, yeah, that too. Danny, I mean, follow up to you, Finn Balor and a matchup in AEW.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like what Amer said is true because he's kind of stuck in the faction. You've got Priest, you've got holding a title, you've got Dom with massive heat, you've got people getting used to JD McDonough in the group. So Finn's just like here, and you know, I don't want to say he's not being used, but he's kind of there. He's like almost like a decoration, if you would. And this is a guy that can go in the ring. He's on the shorter side. I know that, but I'm visualizing in my head, I'm visualizing him and Hangman going at it, him and Swerve, him and Pac, however you say his name, and him and Omega.
Yeah, and there's a lot
more interesting matches.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting matches you can do. I'd love to see him tangle it up with Pac. Maybe even do some stuff with. I wouldn't throw him in it right away because he'd be already in a group. But him mashing it up with House of Black, you know, someone like a Malachi Black or Buddy Matthews, you know, Buddy Murphy, seeing that kind of mix up, you know, and kind of bring the demon character out that way. Again, I'd love to see him against Kenny Omega. Someone like him, and even some of the luchas in AEW, like Commander and Penta. Like, I'd love to see him go, you know, one-on-one with those guys, because those matches would be amazing. So I honestly think having, you know, Finn going into AEW, you get some great matchups. Amer, now your turn. Someone, male wrestler in WWE you'd like to see in another promotion.
Okay, well, Finn Balor was actually a pretty good pick. Can I pick a tag team?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'd like to see DIY move to AEW because I think that they still have. You okay, Danny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, yes. I was like, yes.
Yes, because you know, and again, I don't know how to say this without being blunt. They're wrestlers, right? They're not really. They don't really seem designed to be characters. And that's okay, right? Not everybody wants to be a character. Some people just want to be wrestlers. And DIY seems to kind of fit that mold. I'm sure WWE has tried. Maybe they have tried. But I think they just fit better in that AEW mold. WWE, it's been tried. It's been done. It's kind of been played out. WWE seems to still be trying with them. I really kind of don't see it going anywhere. And maybe that's just because WWE thinks that the tag team scene is not so important. So...
No, absolutely. Siren, what's your take on DIY and AEW?
I don't know who they
are. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Oh, okay, now I know who they are. Yeah, no, I'd be down. I'd probably. Oh, who would I like to see them go against? I'm gonna.
Okay, Danny. No, it's okay. Danny, how about you?
Okay, so I've been off work for 10 days. So today is like my second day at work. So I've been up since 5. So forgive me if I'm a little slow today. Didn't AEW have a chance to sign Gargano a while ago, or that was like a rumor?
Yeah, he declined.
Okay.
He declined, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tony Khan, if your people are watching, bring them over. You had the chance, do it. Because again, what Amer, you're right. They're basically stuck there, kind of like the end cap of clearance items at Target that you're just going to kind of look at and like, oh, okay, wait, I want this. So like, to me, DIY, and I do like Johnny Gargano. In fact, if I had the chance to nanny for them, I'd work for them in a heartbeat because he seems very down to earth and great. It's kind of like me when I see my Snoopy stuff, and I'm a Snoopy collector. So like, when I'm like, oh my God, I got to have it. I don't care how much it costs. Mm-hmm. Gargano, you're right, is a wrestler. He's not a gimmick. How do you say his name? Tommaso Ciampa. Took me
Ciampa.
forever to say that.
Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah,
Tommaso Ciampa. It looks like Ciampa. Tommaso, again, he's a wrestler. They're not gimmicks. Tony Khan, sign him. Or better yet, I'll do that. Give me your checkbook and I'll sign him for you.
I don't know why Gargano wouldn't want to come over. I'm guessing it's
Yeah.
because Candice is still with WWE.
Yeah. Connor, what about you? I mean, could dream matchups that DIY would have in AEW?
Yeah, when he was first available, I wanted AEW to sign him, but he declined. And it was right when Triple H took over. That's when he wanted to go back. Because I feel like a lot of these guys Triple H brought up from NXT, so a lot of them trust him more than they do Vince. So I know they're starting to use DIY as a tag team more. They've been doing a little bit more. So in the future, I'd like to see DIY and AEW. There's one match that DIY and FTR, if anyone's seen their match from NXT TakeOvers, they had a lot of good matches in NXT TakeOvers. So them recreating that in AEW would be really, really good. Yeah, I'd like to see them in AEW at some point in the future.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think right now what you're seeing, I love that he's using DIY more, but after they lost Monday to not win the tag titles, I feel like that's when you should have done something surprising and let them win the titles. If they truly are Triple H guys, you know, to win the titles off of Judgment Day, just to give it a fresh look. Because Judgment Day has held those titles for a while now after winning them off of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And so I think it's a good chance to sign those guys and actually bring them over and have some solid matches, maybe revisit the FTR matches. I mean, both these guys, they're still young. I mean, looking at the ages, you know, Gargano's 36 and, you know, Tommaso Ciampa, I believe, is
about 35, 36.
About 35, 36. Yes, let me figure that out. I know should have had my notes ready for it, but and he's 39, he's 38, you know. So I mean, if they're getting up there, so it's like, you know, it's strike it when it's hot right now. But yeah, I think I'd love to see them tangle it up in AEW with some tag teams. Siren, what about you? What's male wrestler from WWE you'd like to see go to a different promotion and shake it up?
Seth Rollins to AEW just so I can see him in MJF, but that might happen if MJF goes over there. So I've been saying that for a while. I just want to see that matchup. I think it would be a great matchup. Just because they both can talk and it would be such a solid build, and I would watch the build itself for months. So
yeah, no,
I've been saying that for a long time.
No, solid. Danny, going to you. I mean, Seth Rollins possibility at some point leaving WWE?
Maybe. I don't see it happening because Becky's and pretty solid with WWE. That's also another couple that I would nanny for too, because their daughter's to Starling. I don't see it. I don't see it because Becky's got a pretty decent spot in WWE. But then again, Andrade left, Charlotte stayed, Charlotte's still there, Andrade went back. So, I mean, I would say maybe, to be honest with you, but that's a big maybe.
Yeah. Amer, what about you? I mean, with Seth Rollins and AEW, dream booking, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm always reminded, like, I remember from Arn Anderson's podcast a few years ago, and obviously things have changed now, but I remember Arn commenting about, discussions he had with Seth, and, Seth complaining about things and saying, gee, it's a shame you're not as over as your girlfriend. And obviously Seth has come a long way. I can't see Seth breaking that up. I just can't. I think the Andrade Charlotte comparison is a little different because Andrade is a whole different kind of wrestler. He doesn't have the mic ability, obviously, right? So he didn't have much of a choice. I think that dynamic's a little bit different. If you're going to see Seth Rollins versus MJF, which I would absolutely love to see,
Me too.
You're going to see it in WWE. You're not going to see it in AEW. I just don't see that happening. Yeah, sure, there would be all sorts of fantastic matches, but I think Seth Rollins is a lifer, at least for now, unless, maybe 10 years from now he wants to pull an Adam Copeland. That's all I think.
Right. Connor, I mean, what about your take on a possibility of Seth Rollins in an AEW ring?
I thought this was supposed to be a shakeup. It wasn't supposed to be about possibilities.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
You
saying.
guys are such
fair
dinks.
enough.
Fantasy
You guys
booking.
are such dinks.
Fair
I
enough.
thought the chances of Seth
The
Rollins going
possibility of a
to
shakeup. There you
AEW.
go.
Yeah, I thought the chances of Seth Rollins going to AEW is Hulk Hogan showing up in AEW.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not gonna ever happen.
Exactly.
Never say never. I did not expect Edge to ever go to AEW. I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
Nobody expected Vince to poop on people's heads, but here we are.
You never know. I think Seth Rollins has made it very clear that he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. He's done everything there. He's won every title, won everything you could win. But Becky's there, so that's another thing. I think he'll probably retire in WWE, but never say never, because we've seen people leave that you would never expect to leave a company. So there's always a possibility of it happening.
Yeah, no, and that's what I like about shakeups. Yeah, it's a shakeup, but there's always a possibility. You know, we could play manager here and play booker here and kind of be like, oh, I dream this. But in today's age of pro wrestling, we're seeing it now. We're seeing Nick Nemeth go to TNA, which that's someone who's been a workhorse for WWE for over a decade. And to see him now go to TNA is so weird to me. But I'm so happy that he's got to flex his muscle in a different promotion. Hence why, like you guys said, Seth Rollins, yeah, he might seem like a lifer, but like you said, Connor, and I think Amer, I think you both said, like, nobody expected Copeland to be in AEW. You know, but here's the thing: it's also
fantasy booking.
It is that fantasy booking, and that's why I love this kind of topic, because we can fantasy book it, but what if that booking becomes reality? You know, so that's why I love bringing that discussion up. We can book stuff on the show, but who says 5 months down the road it might happen? You know,
So after I get off here, I might get on my game. I'm gonna put Seth Rollins in AEW, and it's all gonna happen.
Yeah.
Then all this is going to happen.
Right.
Brief sidebar, if you don't mind. Oh gosh, geez, I'm old. 25 years ago, believe it or not, I was an IT contractor for WWF Canada when they had a Toronto office. And I actually got the chance to very, very briefly meet both Adam Copeland and Jay Rizzo, Kristen Cage. Very briefly. And I remember at the time, I don't think I imagined this, Adam Copeland saying, you know what, I love this place, I'm going to be here forever. So you're right. Never say never.
That's a great story. And I think
cool, actually.
Danny, we'll get to you now. How about you? I think, did we get to you already?
I think so.
Yeah.
We're on ladies now.
Oh, right. No, well, actually, now we're still on men.
Oh, wait, because you didn't get yours.
Yes, because now we're going to go to AEW. Because now we're going to say fantasy booking, which AEW wrestler, male, okay, would you fantasy book to go to a different promotion? We'll start with you, Danny. We'll work our way up.
Who would I book to go to a different promotion? Okay, let's play a game of what is Danny thinking, or who is Danny thinking?
Not Wardlow.
See, that's who I was thinking.
Yes, thank you, Siren. Yes,
because he could be utilized so well in the WWE.
Yeah, future ex-husband. I would honestly trust this man in a bar fight. If this man was stuck anywhere, like in Chicago, I would send him to my sisters because he's that great of a guy in person. And I feel like, again, and I said this before with the whole faction thing, he's not being booked correctly. However, that's also, giving him that faction to get the payoff at the end. I think he would do great in WWE to a degree, but yet I don't know if he would get lost, but he might do okay. The other one that I would send over, which again, this is speculation, Max going over to WWE, being that he's been pulled from the AEW site. He wrapped up filming that movie, I believe. Mm-hmm. And people were saying, oh, he's going to pop up at the Royal Rumble. Well, he didn't. And I think Max would do good in WWE, but I feel like too, they would tone down the rich kid gimmick and really filter him compared to what he is in AEW.
Right, and again, that's rumors going around of, hey, is he going to show? Like a lot of people thought he was faking the injury and he would show up the Rumble. It didn't happen, But there's those
true.
rumors that go around that, hey, it's possible. Siren, what's your take on her fantasy booking Wardlow in WWE?
I love that. That was actually what I was gonna say. Because I totally, because I totally agree. And I think that'd be really cool if they didn't just like bury him and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do think that they could utilize him very well. And I think what they're doing when they bring over AEW stars, from what it seems to me anyway, is they seem to be giving them a little bit of a treatment. Now, not the Cody Rhodes treatment every time, but a little bit of treatment. Like, hey, we're going to take you, we're going to put you somewhere nice, we're going to polish you up. You're not going to be like a Doink or Stardust, like, like we're going to do something, right? And I see them probably, like, if MJF went there, I see them watering him down, for sure. But like, it is totally a possibility. Now, I'm in the same boat as you guys are with Seth Rollins in the MJF boat. He did say that he wanted to like be with AEW to build something and grow with that something, but man, I would watch him no matter where he went. I really would. To me, it does not matter. Like, I would watch him no matter what promotion. Do I think he would go to WWE? I mean, money talks, bullshit walks, but he has been said on many occasions that he'd prefer to grow and become like a legend with a company. And I believe they made the Dynamite Diamond ring for him. The man's won it every fucking time. Like, he has all them rings.
He's amazing. And like I said, I made a joke a while ago that if Nick Bockwinkel and Bobby the Brain Heenan were both cloned, put them both in a chamber, you got MJ Sorry.
I dropped the F-bombs like crazy. I'm so sorry, you guys.
We're 2 minutes past it, so it's fine on YouTube. Yeah. As long as you don't swear within the first 2 minutes of YouTube, you're fine.
Sorry.
Okay, go.
Don't swear all the
time. You put
obvious. I try.
Bockwinkel in a chamber. You put Heenan in a chamber with the one-liners. Boom. Drop down from that chute is MJF. Done.
Perfect. Yeah. Amer, how about you? I mean, the fantasy booking of Wardlow and WWE with other big men there.
I like it. I think that they could do something really good with Wardlow. Mm-hmm. There's just something in the back of my mind about Wardlow, and I can't really put it into words. But you'll recall last year when Wardlow had a problem where he lost the belt or he lost his luggage or something like that, and suddenly, like, everything went off the rails for him, right? And he never really recovered from that. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how much of that was The Office or Tony Khan or whatever, but for a guy for a guy's trajectory to just fall off a cliff like that, where there's smoke, there's fire, So I don't know. I just have that kind of in the back of my head. I was going to say MJF for this. And I know that may trigger a lot of people. I know we don't care for the purposes of what we're talking about here. But the thing about that, and I know here we're just talking about the wrestling side of it, but you got to remember that we're not just talking about WWE anymore. We are talking about Endeavor, right? And Endeavor makes careers. Endeavors can make stars. And MJF is now this is his second movie, right? If that is something that is important to him, then I've said from the very beginning, he should look at that. Look at the big picture. Anytime I've ever seen or heard anybody say, "Oh, MJF's staying in AEW," my response to that is, give me a non-wrestling bubble reason why that is the case. No one's ever given me an answer when I say that, right? In the wrestling bubble, yeah, that doesn't make sense. He'll be watered down. He'll be a mid-card, whatever, right? But look at the big picture. Anyway. Sorry. What do you want to say, Sarah? Then I'll say what I want to say. Go ahead.
Well, you said that nobody disagreed with you, but he said it himself.
What did he say?
That he wouldn't want to. That he had the opportunity to go to WWE, and he would prefer to grow something of his own with something. So
Wait,
I mean,
do you recall? I don't recall.
I'll pull up the interview at some point.
It was probably more than, say, 6 months ago. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
but anyway.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah. I mean.
I think a lot has changed since then. That's just my opinion. But who knows? We'll have to see. If I'm going to pick somebody, I just wouldn't pick Wardlow for the reason I said. I'm going to go a little bit outside the box. Somebody who you wouldn't want to think of, but I think would be incredible in WWE, Konosuke Takeshita.
Oh,
That's who I would love to see go
yes.
over there. Him
Yes.
and Nakamura with those anime-style promos, and give them, I don't know who, as a mouthpiece, writes itself.
Paul Heyman.
Well, Paul Heyman's already got a gig, right? And Paul Heyman would be fantastic at it, you're right. But then that takes him away from Roman Reigns and the bloodline, right? But
Right.
Mr. Fuji was still alive.
yeah.
I was watching Raw. I've been bouncing back between Raw and Nitro, and I'm on Raw January 1998 after Stone Cold threw the belt in the river, which was hilarious.
I love
it. And there was a guy named the Jackal that was there.
Don Callis.
I wonder whatever happened to that guy, huh?
Don Callis. Send it back to WWE. Mouthpiece for Takeshita.
That would be awesome. I'm all for it. If Don Callis wants to come back with him,
and
I think that would be incredible.
Takeshita's music creeps. Demolition, as when I was a kid, used to creep me out because of the face paint and the masks. Takeshita's music creeps me out.
Yeah. I often wonder whether, like, everybody's like, don't tell Takeshita Nakamura's in WWE. Everybody shh. Like, I have a feeling that that's what goes on in the locker room. Because if you ever found out, he'd be over there in a heartbeat. That's just what I think. But anyway.
Yeah, Connor, let me get your thought. We're going to double head that with that, going to both the picks.
I like
Takeshita and Wardlow in WWE. Would that be crazy booking?
Yeah, I was actually going to say MJF first, but it looks like everyone's going to say MJF. Wardlow, I was just thinking about him going to WWE. He reminds me a lot of Batista.
He does.
Yep.
He went to WCW at the was it called the Power Plant or whatever it was called?
Yeah, it was the Power Plant in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically boot camp for wrestling, basically. If you ever saw the commercials of it, it was boot camp for wrestling. And they told Batista that he would never draw a dime in wrestling. Then he main event WrestleMania. And it's not the quiet situation, the same as Wardlow's, but I feel like someone like Triple H would probably, I don't know, have him start out in NXT, building him up. Let's see him and Braun Breaker against each other. Wardlow and Braun Breaker.
Oh, Connor, yes, great minds think alike. I was thinking the same thing.
There's a lot of things he could do in NXT, then go to the main roster, and then slowly build him up into he's got the look for sure. He's got the body to be a world champion. He just needs something new. I don't know what it is. I wanted to work out with him in AEW because he was a big when him and Max was with each other. They were a big deal.
Yes.
So I hope that MJF stays with AEW and Wardlow stays and they're all that. But besides, so is it my pick for WWE? I mean AEW to WWE or whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure. AEW to WWE, and then we'll go to Siren.
I don't want to say MJF or Wardlow now since everyone's done that out there. That's a tough one because I had my mind set on MJF.
You can still go with MJF.
Yeah.
But yeah, MJF is the main one. I feel like, he said one time, it was like a meet and greet thing, and he was a Q&A thing. He was in the ring, and someone asked him if would he go to WWE, and he said he would go to WWE.
Of course. If
he was given the opportunity, but he was doing that for a while, like the bidding war of 2024. I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna shove it in all your faces.
Money does talk.
It's hard to really think what he's thinking because when he's a face, he's really, really nice. He's a heel, he's really, 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 really rude in person. So it's really hard to read what he thinks. Some say he's resigned with AEW already. I don't know. But if he went to WWE, I really want to see Punk and MJF 3 in WWE.
That needs to be done.
It really does.
They can pick up right where they left off, and they really don't even have to mention AEW. They can pick up where they lost.
It was very personal. It had nothing to do with the company.
Like they got the picture. All they need is that picture, and that's it. And then they're right back where they started.
And I was there. November 2021 at Wintrust Arena.
There you
go. There is I think Cody Rhodes
comments.
what I'll say. But yeah, Cody Rhodes, he's a big influence for MJF. He even talked about that recently. I feel like they would do the same thing with MJF that they did with Cody.
They'd have to.
I don't think he'd keep his. I don't know about theme songs because Jade is using her AEW theme song. I don't know if you want to
MJF uses open source music. He did that deliberately. It's royalty free music he uses. He can use it if he wants.
So, well, I'm pretty sure WWE would let him keep. I feel like they would see him as kind of like Cody. They would let him keep. The only thing I don't know is the character wise. If he's a heel, I don't know. That'll be very interesting. And I'm curious how that's going to affect on Netflix, what their TV ratings going to do on Netflix.
Mhm.
But for me, it would be MJF going to WWE.
Yeah,
I'll give you one. I'll throw one at you. Siren, did you pick yours? No, okay, then you go ahead. I was going to throw one out there for Connor, but you go ahead.
So,
Tyler freaking Black. I love it. Yeah.
That would only be if he went to AEW though. I would say I'd want to see Malachi Black back over there, but utilized in the way that Bray Wyatt was. You know, like I want to see full theatrics. I want to see full theatrics. I want it like crazy. I want it dark, and I want it everywhere. I like the full theatrical treatment.
You know what would be good for that? Put him with Karrion Kross, and then make Karrion Kross actually mean something instead of guys who are not popular like AOP. You want to turn it dark?
Did we put that last one on?
And I was sitting there and I'm like, Karrion Kross is back, AOP is back. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do we not see more of Karrion Kross?
For me, I will try to answer that, Danny. For me, and I always go to it, and that's why we do shows like this. It's booking. It's creative, not having a plan for certain wrestlers because you have a stacked roster. So you have to figure out all these creative plans for everybody for all these different shows. Where are we going to put them? Where do we go story-wise? That's why I enjoy the idea of maybe booking Malachi Black, going back to WWE, and kind of having that Bray Wyatt dark take on it and everything like that. But even someone that nobody ever thinks of that was gone but might come back to WWE because of his brother is Bo.
He's been releasing promos.
Bo has been releasing his own promos. My belief is they may bring him in. I'd love to see someone like him matched up with Malachi, as a group, kind of like the introduction of the Wyatt Six or, their own little group, I like that booking, plus you think about it as a way like we've talked about. Andrade goes back because Charlotte's there. He wants to be with Charlotte, I keep forgetting Seth Rollins stays there because Becky's there, the relationship. That's the same thing with Malachi. He wants to probably be close to Zelina, and because their schedules are so rough that they're barely together, it's
Buddy Matthews.
And Buddy Matthews over there with Rhea Ripley. But I think right now the reason why we don't see Karrion Kross a lot with good stories is because of creative. But I like the idea of booking Malachi to be a darker Malachi.
Oh yeah, no, like
over in WWE and have him the feuds that he could actually have in WWE. I actually thoroughly enjoyed his feud with Cody in AEW. That was one of my favorite feuds. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it was just bad that Malachi was the one that had Cody face him. That's kind of where you saw the whole AEW fans go, well, now Cody has to be heel because we're cheering Malachi. Siren, you got something you want to say?
I feel like they stopped utilizing the House of Black properly after they did the whole resurrection. Like, you literally have this amazing, ultra powerful dark priestess who can bring you guys back from the dead. Where the heck is my theatrics after that? So you guys turn out the lights every once in a while, pop up, beat somebody up backstage. Cool. You guys are brought back from the dead. Like, do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? That was the whole thing. It was so dope. The vignettes were amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have lots of shows talking about missed opportunities. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and
I
that's
feel like that's why he would
that's an
need to
idea of
go
mine.
over
Yeah.
somewhere and get
That's-
that treatment because they missed out on that. They dropped the ball on that.
And we're talking about booking. I totally agree with Adam. Like, Karrion Kross is like, okay, you're there, you've got your hot wife next to you. Great, go out there and do something, right? And we got nothing to do with Lashley. Yeah, go out there and be with him. Okay, that's not good booking. You know, people sometimes accuse me of being a WWE tribalist. I'm not. I try to be an equal opportunity, knocker of things. But yeah, same deal with the House of Black. Book these guys properly, right? Watch what happens.
And that's why we like doing shows like this, is because we can talk about fantasy booking, about getting the people on screen and with good stories that we invest in. There are so many year-long stories that we are invested in different promotions. I mean, how long have we been invested in WWE's Bloodline story? How long have we been invested when they did CM Punk and MJF and AEW? I mean, I couldn't even go to TNA. TNA is a year-long storylines. I mean, Jordan Grace had a long storyline with Matt Cardona over that digital media title. They had months of a storyline with that, and I loved it. So, like, I love the idea of this fantasy booking, and just the booking itself needs to be fixed up. So we'll go to comments real quick, and we'll move over to our next topics. Davis, thank you for joining us. Heyo, Fox, Tenso, always great to see you on the chat. Yes, the good line. I believe that was mentioning the whole TNA Nick Namath. Everybody's just going to remember who is Dolph Ziggler. And I agree, Davis. Nick's probably going to be in AEW or TNA for a while, but I saw him doing cross promotions in New Japan as well. Amer, I don't know what he was agreeing on with that.
Probably, I think that came up when I mentioned about Mustafa Ali.
Yes, the Ali, John Cena. Dude, if he could get time off of Hollywood just to make an appearance in New Japan, that would be great. But unfortunately, he's WWE's golden boy, so I don't think you'll ever see his face in any other promotion.
Well, he's technically already in AEW New Japan, but just can't see him.
You just can't see him.
I can't see him,
Tyler freaking Black. Yep, the former. It was a good story. Oh, the story about Edge and Christian.
Yep.
And King.
I'll have more of those, I hope, over the years.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to female wrestlers now. We'll start in WWE, and I'm gonna start with the ladies today for this topic. Danny, what is one female wrestler in WWE you'd like to see shake it up in a different promotion?
I'm just trying to think who I feel like, and I don't even know. No, I don't even know if she's still there yet. That's a good question. Oh gosh, let me think.
Do you want me to come back to you?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll move to Siren. Siren, female wrestler in WWE you'd like to see shake it up in a different promotion.
Asuka to AEW. I want to see Asuka. I want to see Asuka and Abaddon. I want to see Asuka and Julia. I want to see Asuka and DMD. I like Asuka. I think she'd be fun in AEW. Plus, she's spoopy. And AEW needs more spoopy ladies.
Yeah, you're talking about the Kana character that she brings out. The evil clown is just so good.
I like it.
Amer, what's your take on that? Asuka shaking it up in the women's locker room in AEW.
That could be very, very interesting. I think it would be very different than the Japanese ladies that they brought over so far, right? She's a completely different breed, so to speak.
I mean, they have Emmy, but
yeah, okay. They have Emmy and they have Hikaru Shida, and then they've got all the the Joshi ladies, and that's a whole other topic. I think Asuka would be very, very interesting. It would just really come down to booking. Like, what are they going to do with her now? What are they going to do something that she would be satisfied with? I don't know. I think she'd have some great matches against Deonna and Toni Storm and others for sure, no doubt.
Yep. Connor, how about you? Asuka to AEW.
That would be very interesting. I'm really curious if someone goes to AEW. And how they're going to book the women's division through on out, because a lot of women like person I'm referencing to, if you probably know who I'm talking about, who's rumored to go to AEW. But someone like her or Asuka or like some of them, like sometimes in AEW, like they'll have someone and they're like, all right, we got you, but now what do we do? So it's like, I like Asuka. I'm glad that she changed up her gimmick a little bit because before I could not take her seriously. There was one segment where she got hit and she was literally crying. Like that was like Asuka crying just about getting hit. I don't know. But I like the new character that she's doing a lot better. It's more serious side of Asuka and very different and very unique type of face paint. But it'd be very interesting with her in AEW against Toni Storm or Sheeta or Britt Baker. It'd be very interesting if she came to AEW.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And we're talking about her Kana character, I think, which she made popular in Stardom when she was over there, or the All Japan Women's League over there. Yeah, it was a very popular character over there, and they allowed her to kind of bring it here to WWE, which is very good. And obviously, you're talking about Mercedes Moné and the possibility of her joining AEW. So,
am I talking about her?
I don't know. You said a certain someone coming to AEW.
You're talking about
so.
Marina Mashir. Oh, wait, she's there.
We're talking about Wendy Richter because
Wendy Richter. Yes, no, Toni Storm wants to go one-on-one with her. That's right. She's just got to watch out for the shoe. We'll come back to you, Danny. What about you? Female wrestler you'd like to see from WWE Shakeup in a different division or promotion?
I refer to them as overstimulating, but one of the gals from Damage Control with the face paint, but I can't think of which one they are. But just like the color and the face paint is cute, but it's a little much. So one of those two, but I can't think of which one it is.
Well, we were just talking about Asuka. Yeah. The other one would be
Kairi.
That one. Yeah, that one.
I like her too. I would say both of them together. I think they're both awesome, in my opinion. I like both of them, but I also love that look and that attitude. So I'm down with you, Danny.
Yeah, that would be. I think they would be interesting to have in AEW either as a tag team, but then you really don't have a women's tag division, or even as singles. Both of them would be interesting.
Yeah, Amer, what about you? Take on Kairi Sane going to AEW?
Either one. Similar to Asuka, I think Kairi Sane's a little bit. She's a little bit younger. I think not that matters so much, but she's a little bit more, athletic and off the top rope and stuff like that. Whereas Asuka's more grounded, more of a mat wrestler. So yeah, different styles. I think Kairi Sane could fit in really, really well. I think both of them could probably teach a lot of the ladies some good things too.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Siren, go ahead. You want to take on that?
No, I totally agree. I'm down. Kairi was my favorite. But I didn't know what they would, and I know that Asuka has some. Anyway, but yeah, I'd be down for both. So if they would take both. And there should be a ladies tag division in AEW. When they're all there, there's enough of them. They just need proper story. And when they're not doing wishy-washy stories in between each other, there's enough of them to do proper tags. There is. So.
They could. They could. They actually do a lot of tag team matches. They just don't need anything, right? They just end up needing nothing. So
I know. Right. It's funny because never mind. Anyway, carry on.
No, go ahead. Connor, what about you? Your take on Kairi Sane, maybe fantasy book in an AEW?
Yeah, that would be very interesting. I like her a little bit more than Asuka, actually. I think that her flying elbow was very, very unique. Yeah. Seeing Macho Man do that move and see someone kind of reinvent it a little bit and do it the way she does, I'd have liked to have seen Randy Savage's reaction to that. Someone like an old-fashioned person who kind of made the move famous a little bit, the flying elbow, and to see his reaction to Kairi Sane's. She does a really cool. Return AEW, very interesting. I'd be curious to see how they would use her, because I don't know. It depends on how they book the women's division in a few months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shawn Michaels did a few flying elbows in his day too.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, Shawn Michaels. I forgot about him.
Yeah. How about you, Amer? Who's one female wrestler in WWE that you'd like to see shake it up in a different promotion?
Okay, I actually had a couple. I was thinking about this. One who I think it's not going to happen again, probably because of the family situation. But somebody like Sarah Logan, who has a history, with Ruby Soho and some other people.
Sure.
I think she's kind of at that stage where it's like, okay, been there, done that, and a new paint of coat, as Bruce Prichard would say, might do her well. I just don't know how interested she really is in continuing to be a wrestler. Right? I think obviously her husband's still in WWE. He's injured right now, and it seems to me like she has other priorities. But I think that would be an interesting fit, and I think she's the type that could fit in well. I feel in AEW. But another one who I think could really use a new coat of paint, Nikki Cross.
No, I totally agree with you on that one. To kind of get your take on that, I totally agree with Sarah Logan, or Valhalla as they call her over there now. I think right now she's just in a stunk. Just because when I watched it at the Royal Rumble and she came out and R-Truth kind of came out and ran past her and took her spot and kind of gave her an elimination, I don't think she's being utilized as she used to be when they had the Riot Squad. So I feel like you said, a fresh take on it. I don't know about AEW, but I think if she wants to do the schedule and try to be around her family more, TNA might be more suitable of a schedule for her over AEW. So I could kind of see Sarah Logan maybe going to TNA, kind of shake it up. And I do like your take on Nikki Cross. Danny, what about you? Your take on those two women possibly going to different promotions?
Yeah, I mean, the life of a wrestler, again, is you're living out of a suitcase for 300 days a year. You barely see your family, for starters, and even as a mom too. And I don't know if they have kids, but as a mom, I mean,
she has one child. Yeah.
Think about what like Becky and Seth do, or the Garganos do when they have to travel. Do you take the kid with the nanny, or do you have the nanny watch the kid? So again, I agree that a lighter travel schedule would probably work, but then. Hi, is Nikki Cross around? Anyone know? Oh, sorry. I don't even know the last
She's
time.
standing back in the corner like this.
I don't even remember the last time we saw Nikki Cross on TV. And Amer, that's the name I was thinking of, but I couldn't remember if she was still even with WWE.
Yeah,
Raw last week, the Raw Go Home show. She was in the background of the Ivy Nile match. Ivy Nile, if you look up at the ramp, she was just wandering on the ramp. And that was the last time she was on TV.
Oh, she's so she's like me. Okay, yeah, basically. Yeah. This is me sometimes when I'm in Chicago, like, wait, where am I going? Okay. But yeah, no, I get it. And I agree. I like that fresh coat of paint, and I'm going to start using that. But yeah, she, again, what did they do with her? They did something with her. They had her Super Nikki Cross. Then they had Sanity, which I wish they would have kept Sanity around because that was kind of fun. Eric Young, especially. And then she disappeared, and she's in the background in the corner that she's afraid to talk to anybody.
Yeah, no, Siren, what about your take on that? Nikki Cross and Sarah Logan basically getting a fresh start somewhere else.
I don't like Valhalla. I don't like her at all. And it's the gimmick. It's the gimmick. And it's because I don't know much about indie wrestling, but my partner shows me a lot of stuff. And it's the first time I saw Valhalla, I was like, oh, hey, it's that chick. And he was like, no. And I was like, isn't it that other chick? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, and then I just by principle of the thing, I just haven't liked her, and that's the only way I know her. So I would love to see her somewhere else doing something else that would be cool, because I think that from the in-ring that I've seen of her, she's not awful. She's she's a talented lady. I by principle don't like her, and I would love to see her somewhere else. So yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah. Connor, how about you? Nikki Cross and Valhalla or Sarah Logan somewhere else?
I prefer Sarah Logan.
Personally, I'm gonna be honest. I could care less where they end up.
As long as it's not Marina
Fair
Shafir.
enough.
We're getting there. We're getting there. But Sarah Logan or Nikki Cross would be good. I would say Nikki Cross would be good in TNA because Eric Young is there, and they actually brought one of the Sanity members to TNA. That's kind of a spoiler if you're going to be watching TNA, but one of the former Sanity members is going to be on TNA in a few weeks. So them reforming the group Sanity and TNA would kind of be cool. Sarah Logan, I agree with Amar. She doesn't really wrestle much. She's just a manager really for Viking Raiders. She doesn't really do much of a wrestling thing anymore. It feels like she's kind of just transitioned out of that. I don't know I don't know what her really goals are anymore. What her goals in wrestling are. She just wants to be a manager or wants to eventually step back in the ring a little bit more. But I think Nikki Cross would be really good in TNA.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I think Nikki Cross going to TNA, kind of reforming with Eric Young and, doing some reinventing Sanity over there. I think it would be a good mix. I know Nikki Cross is currently enrolled in school doing something. She wants to go back and get a degree in something. I think she's trying to be like a doctor or something. Like she's trying to become a doctor.
Maybe she could be a dentist.
Like medical, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, no. So she's trying to do like medical stuff right now, and she's enrolled in school doing it. So she might be thinking of something outside of wrestling right now. She might have done everything she wanted to do. Unfortunately, she was a women's champion as that Nikki, almost a superhero character, which I actually didn't really like. They should have just gave it to Crazy Nikki. But yeah, and then for Sarah Logan, I think it's at that time where, she's now more of like a character, like more of a like comedy spot, like I mentioned in the Royal Rumble with the whole, R-Truth thing. Mm-hmm. I said for her, like, I think more like, again, it's a toll on the body too, with wrestling, especially with, the females, they probably don't want to be, moms and being aching and pain, trying to hold their kids and stuff like that. And it's same, probably for the dads, but it's that kind of way. It's like, maybe Sarah Logan's like, hey, maybe I take a step back from the ring and just be more of a manager, and obviously her being there in WWE with her husband, part of the Viking Raiders. I think it's a cool idea of maybe keeping her there. And then, again, like you said, Connor, moving Nikki Cross to TNA, kind of give her an easier schedule too, maybe for her schooling as well. So who are we on to now for their pick? I think, Siren, did we get to you?
I think we got them all.
I think we did.
Okay. Connor, we got yours as well.
I know his ladies pick from AEW.
Okay, so we're now to AEW women's. Okay, so
it's probably the same as mine. Go ahead.
No, but okay, so we'll start with you, Siren, since you brought it up. Female wrestler from AEW you'd like to see in a different promotion.
Nobody pick who I'm going to pick.
I'm not going to pick you. You're going to pick. I was going to, but I'm not a beach. That's actually tough for me because I love the ladies there. You're gonna have to come back to me. I'm gonna have to really think on this one.
Okay, fine. Then we'll let Amer go since he had his pick already.
Okay.
I don't know.
If I were to pick the lady who reminds me a lot of my wife, 5'3" and 195 pounds, is that the one you're gonna pick? Last name's the color?
Who?
Yes.
That's not who you're gonna pick. No.
No, that's not your good. Okay, then I'll pick her. I want to see Sky Blue go to WWE, and I want to see her get the training in the Performance Center. I also would like to see her there for the obvious reasons. But I think that she's got a big upside, and I really do as a wrestler. I really do. So I would like to see her move over there.
Okay, Danny, your take on booking Sky Blue in WWE?
She's on the. I know she's on the younger side, and she does have. There's just a certain moldable quality about her. Like, and I say moldable because when you think about like me being in education, you know, we've got like the new the new teachers that come in that might not have the experience, or like fresh out of the high school students that do the work study, and some of them stay at one of my schools, stayed like 5 to 7, 8 years. Sky Blue's got that quality that you can just like teach it. She's got that that certain, how would I put it? That certain quality that you don't like, you can't teach.
You
But
can't
for
teach.
the way like you can't teach, like Enzo, you can't teach that type thing. She's got it.
She gets it. Just a little thing. Yeah, just a little thing I noticed, like after she kind of turned heel with the whole Julia Hart thing, you know,
Yeah.
she used to come out and she used to do the thing. She'd get up on the ropes and she'd raise her hand like this.
Yeah.
Right? Now, then when she turned heel, now she doesn't do that. She gets up on the rope and just kind of like looks around and scowls, right?
Absolutely.
It's little things like that, right? And those are the little things that you pick up just being around people who are more experienced than you. And when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, this girl gets it. So that's why she's my pick.
Yeah. No, I'd like to see her. I think with the training, with, you know, put her in WWE, give her the same training that you gave, you know, Jade Cargill. Yep. She's going to turn that into something that's going to last her for a couple of years. And if they do it right, she could get major heat like Dom out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, agree.
Let's sit with William Regal for half an hour a day. Watch what happens.
Yeah.
Siren, how about your take on that? Sky Blue in a WWE ring.
I'm going to be the unpopular opinion here. I think that she would do better in TNA than she would in WWE. I think she would get buried in WWE, in my opinion. And the reason for that is as you mentioned, watching her change come out, it took her a long time to stop doing that. Even after she changed, you'd catch her and she'd catch herself. So like watching her transition, it was a very long and bumpy ride. And I understand that with more training that she would do better. But I think that it would take her too long. I think that to put her in TNA somewhere first where she can get more experience with other people. And then, because you guys mentioned she is young, like for sure. And I do think she is talented and she does have the it. But before you pop her into WWE, I would put her elsewhere first. Just because she does, to me, seem to take a little bit in her transitions. Like, and her and Billy Starks were the exact same person.
Yeah.
To say that she was unique at all, they had the exact same entrance. Like you can almost layer them over them like a Nickelback song. Like even to the arm up into the with the tongue out, it was the same. And I'm not that because I love both of them. I do. I just think that she would get lost in WWE currently. But yeah, I think that Sky, given a couple of years in another promotion, would do absolutely amazing in WWE.
Yeah,
amazing.
Connor, how about you? Sky Blue booked in WWE or TNA?
It'd be really interesting for TNA. She actually went to TNA 1 or 2 times. She had a few. I believe it was before the Impact or Explosion. She was on there. I like where she's at in AEW. I think that she can grow in AEW. But if she did go to WWE, I can see them in NXT really utilizing her as a
NXT.
Really use it. How do I put it? Really them. I wouldn't say polished because she's kind of already polished, but maybe some things that she's missing. I don't know. I feel like NXT would do that extra polishing, but I feel like she's polished enough, unlike some other people we're fixing to talk about that might polish at all. Yeah, I like where she's at in AEW. But if anywhere else, I'd like to see her in TNA.
Yeah, no, good call on that one. Like you said, I think if she ever if we've booked it, she probably would go to NXT. If she would go to WWE, not to just be like polished up, but also work with some of those girls over there, because again, some of those girls,
they're great ladies in NXT.
I mean, they would mix well with her, especially with their style and her style. But again, like Siren said, the character itself, it did take a while for her to get to that dark side. I mean, we saw it with Julia Hart when she was a cheerleader, and then she transitioned to that dark, Julia Hart that we see today in the House of Black. But like you said, it's also a gimmick thing. I mean, because we have seen countless girls do the whole like do stuff with their hands like this, or Kylie Ray doing that. Like you see it. They're doing something with their hands around their face, trying to look pretty and cute. It's at the same time that you get mixed up in that because a lot of girls are doing that as a gimmick of the whole joyous, happy, all pop, kind of thing, But again, Julia Hart or that Sky Blue would get lost on that too in WWE, so I could kind of see where Siren is coming from, and I kind of agree. TNA is probably, if she was ever go anywhere else, it'd be TNA. I think she worked well with some of that roster with those girls. Plus, her character would work great in TNA, and I'd love to see her in a call your shot gauntlet match. That'd be really cool to see. So who have we gotten so far with the women? Have we gotten Shimmer, Siren?
Yeah, we've gotten all three of us. We need Connor and you.
Okay, okay. Nope, Connor, you're going up, buddy.
So my pick to leave AEW and never ever come back is Marina Shafir.
There it is.
I was waiting for it.
I knew this.
Get her gone. I don't know. I don't care where she goes. Stay away. Don't come back. Just whatever you do, just don't come back to AEW. I mean, she's been in WWE. It didn't work out there. Just pursue a different career. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't care what it is. Just leave. Don't come back.
No more wrestling for you, Marina.
Well, the only exception I will put is if she did that Serena Deeb thing I was talking about. I feel like that would really help her.
It would help.
If they would actually do that, her and Serena Deeb. But if not that, I'll help pack her bags and get stuff going. And,
I will tell you this. I think Marina would do really good in TNA.
No.
I mean, just let her stay in TNA and do that stuff over there. Because TNA does seem to not have that one character of I'm a former MMA fighter and I'm going to beat you up character right now in TNA. I mean, they've got all the strong women and the high flyers and all that stuff, but they don't have that kind of character. And the heat you would get in TNA, I would laugh at just to have a bunch of crowds booing her.
I remember one time, me and Adam were at Dynamite, and we Ring of Honor tapings, and she comes out, and then Adam said, Marina Shafir comes out and just ruined the whole night. And then Adam was like, "Oh, here's your favorite wrestler," and everybody heard it. And it was, but no, I respect her as a person. It's just her
of course.
I think if Mr. Bean was given the opportunity to wrestle, he could probably wrestle better.
Come on, Rowan Atkinson. Now we need a match. Marina Shafir and Rowan.
I would actually put money to see that.
I would pay to see that too.
I love Mr. Bean. I really like him. Yeah.
Get on it, Tony Khan. Book it.
I will tell you this. I did say when we were at that Dynamite show in Ring of Honor taping Marina, I still yelled out, "Marina, I still love you." Even if nobody else does, I love you. You're great. And tell your husband Roderick. Tell your husband Roderick we say hello.
Oh, really? That's the thing? I didn't know that.
She's married to Roderick Strong.
Oh, unfortunate.
I didn't know she was married to Rod Strong.
When they're being intimate, he actually yells her name. Marina,
Marina! I love that. Oh my God, I love you, Adam.
That's kind of disturbing.
That's the best joke I can come up with because that was Roderick.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yelling name.
I guess it is what it is.
So we've really lost track of this just because Connor had to bring up Marina Shafir.
You gotta have fun.
I think that's a little unfair, frankly, because it's like it's not that you want her to go somewhere; you want her to go away.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the Gigolo wrestling?
I would call it a shakeup.
And here's the thing too, like how Connor feels about Marina is how I feel about the Cucamonga Kool-Aid stand. I don't like them. They do nothing for me. And I like them again as Generation Me. They were kind of cool. Now I'm looking at them like, oh.
I think you broke Connor. Anyway.
We did. Yeah.
Oh,
Cucamonga Chicken Crew, Cucamonga Kool-Aid Stand, Children's Theater, Go away. Young Bucks. Get out. Goodbye.
I'll throw in another anecdote. Over the summer, I went to Las Vegas and then to Los Angeles with my kids.
Oh, very cool.
We had to stop somewhere on the way, and because my kids had to go to the bathroom, and it's like Rancho Cucamonga. You have to stop here, seriously? No? Okay.
If I had to pick anyone like to legit leave and go somewhere,
I love it.
I really don't want to see him leave AEW. If I had to choose anyone, Jamie Hayter going to WWE.
Yeah.
I think her and Tiffany Stratton. She was in the Royal Rumble. Tiffany Stratton. Be a really good match. But I like her in AEW. But if I had to choose anyone, it'd be Jamie Hayter. But of course, I will. If anyone, I will volunteer to help Marina pack up her bags and leave. But I do this in a joking way. I don't hate her as a person.
Hey.
I don't want to see her really. But if I was in charge and I had to make some cuts,
she'd be first.
Well, I don't know if she'd be first.
Now I don't feel so bad.
Who'd you put out before her?
Now I don't feel so bad for talking about the Cucamonga Children's Center.
There you go.
No, not at all.
You make me feel so much better.
At some point, I'm sure we'll talk more in detail about that. Like I see a lot of people talking about, and I don't want to get sidetracked, so sorry out of it because I've been going too far. But a lot of people are saying, oh, now they're leaning into these new characters, and that's a good thing. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, well, in theory, yes, it could be a good thing if they really go into it and not do it as though they're playing roles. It's like, well, we're not really bad guys. We're just playing bad guys. Because that's not going to work. That's going to be exposed before long, right? Mm-hmm. If they really, really lean into
they have to go into it.
Yeah, they have to try, and I'm willing to give them a chance to do it. I don't have a lot of faith that they'll be able to pull it off, but we'll see.
Nobody likes my idea.
No, and
what's your idea?
Yeah, what's your idea, Siren?
Well, that they're gonna screw over Sting and Darby, and Sting's not gonna retire a champion.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's a pretty good bet.
See?
I think so. I think so.
I mean,
because it would be the biggest. It would make everybody hate them so much.
But isn't that
the cemented heel turn?
But that's what I was going to say. Isn't that what's being a tag team, heel tag team supposed to be? You're supposed to cost the faces something special.
Okay,
like a title,
okay, but the thing is, at his retirement match.
Exactly. I mean, but here's the thing. Even if Sting and Darby beat Big Bill and Ricky Starks next week for the titles and defend those titles against the Young Bucks at Revolution. The thing I have an issue with is, as much as I'd love to see Sting and Darby Allin win tag titles together before Sting retires, what does that do to Ricky Starks and Big Bill's characters? Because these guys have been booked as a tag team that can't lose. You got to remember, they defended those titles in a Fatal 4-Way match, I believe at World's End, correct? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a Fatal 4-Way and they won. Okay? Then you're going to have them lose to someone in their 60s like a Sting, and that's not against his age, just to get, I'm not going to say the word because young kids use it, but the clout, get the glory of, hey, Sting's finally going to retire as a champion. But do you think he really wants to? I mean, I think it'd be better without the titles because the Young Bucks don't need that rub at Revolution. Even if they beat Sting and Darby for the titles at Revolution, they don't need that. They've already got that in their background as the champions of many promotions. They don't need that rub, But if you go next week, but if you go next week,
if they could tell stories,
you let it happen to where they cost Sting his very first loss next week against Big Bill and Ricky. You keep that heat both on Ricky and Bill with that title run. So you get a solid team to beat them because Sting's out his way out the door. So you get that. You get Sting the very first loss of his career in tag team action, right? And now he's looking for that redemption at Revolution to go out as a winner instead of retiring as a champion. That's more of a rub I want to see than him going out, I'm retiring as a champion. It's like, we get it, but I don't think we need that as a story going to Revolution. Tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, that for me as a wrestling fan, that's something I want to see. Siren?
It's not that I think you're wrong, because I do agree that that is a phenomenal story. This is going off of the fact that I want to see the Young Bucks be the most hated,
Yep.
like true blue villainous VPs. Like, I want to see it. I want to see it. And the only way that I think that it would be absolutely legit would be to make everybody think that Sting is going to retire a champion and then take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
And
no.
then be like, we used our powers to do so. We can do anything we want.
Mm-hmm.
We are these guys, and everybody would hate them. That would be the only thing that, like, and I would love to, like, with the no titles would still be great. I would still think it'd be awesome. But with the titles, the only reason that it would make it just that much better was because it would make people hate them that much more. And I understand the first loss. I get that. It is massive. What would it do for Big Bill and Ricky Starks, to answer up on that? I mean, you got now the unbeatable Young Bucks. They are unbeatable. They have the power of the pen. You know, I sign the papers, I do the things. They're unbeatable. Well, you got to come back. You got everybody wanting to go for this now. So, like, I mean, there is story there. There is story. But I could see it either way. I really could, Adam. I just think it would be the biggest slap in the dongle if they gave him the title, took it away. Oh yeah, like right in the low hangies. Like it would not be. It would make a lot of people very upset, and they already hate the Young Bucks.
Maybe in the cockles of the heart.
Oh my
The
god!
subcockles, that's mine. The subcockle area, the subcockle region of my heart. But yeah, no. Have you ever heard that song? I'm an asshole.
Oh yeah, Dennis
There
Terry,
you go.
great song.
There we go. But yeah, no, I would definitely, like, that's the only reason why I would see them winning the titles and then having them being taken away. And that's what I mean by nobody liked my idea. Amer, that was my idea. It was like let them win it. I think it'd be great. And then they get there, and then the Bucks are like, I think, and people would hate them.
And we'll go aim her, and then Danny, and we'll move on. Go ahead.
Go one step further. What if Flair cost Sting the match?
I was thinking about that.
If Flair is the one who comes in with the low blow, Sting, I made you in this arena, and I killed your career, right?
I got the.
Now,
You guys can
here I am.
I got all the hair,
right?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny, how about you?
With a tear in my eye.
Before we move on, Danny, your take
I've
on
got
this.
Post-its. And I wrote Tyrant's idea that I'm an asshole because I am. I can be. Just kidding. Okay, moving on. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
No, hey, but it's so true, though.
Okay, I have to look up that song because my nephew will get a kick out of it.
It's
but
funny.
Dennis Leary, for the record.
Funny story, when I was a kid, I was watching Clash of the Champions 1, and that was the one with Sting and Flair, I think in Greensboro. Forgive me if my history is a little fuzzy, but I got so mad that I kicked the linen closet door because Sting lost. That's how much I did not like Flair. Now I grew to like Flair over the years, but in character, but not off screen. And I do like that idea. One of the Bucks possibly costing, Sting, or costing, the titles next week, because that's going to cement the heel turn that they need. The second to make this character believable, which to me, again, they're bland. They're like, just like, they're like a plain white t-shirt at the Gap that you put with a really cute sweater, some cute jeans, and a cute purse. They're just bland. They're like the equivalent of a white t-shirt that you don't know what to put with it, or some abstract print that you can't figure it out. I don't figure out, honestly, the appeal with them, which is a whole nother story. But for them to pull this character off, is this them in real life, or are they playing, or are they doing like kayfabe type thing, or is it a blend? That's the one thing that you have to figure out. The second thing too is having them cost Starks and Big Bill. And again, Starks was going to be one of my other picks to go to WWE, largely because I think he would do okay over there. That would be something. But then to have Flair come in and just out of nowhere, we think Flair is going to help him Flair turns on Sting. Done. History repeats itself. History closes. That chapter from March 19, what was that, 87?
1988.
88.
Yeah, closes that history 36 years later. That's
No,
how
and I
it
like
works.
that take on it. Just because there's so many possibilities you can go with it.
Mhm.
Especially with it being Sting's last match. You know, you
Mhm.
could go with it where like, hey, maybe they do let him win the tag titles, and then they do beat the Young Bucks and they retire champions, or the Young Bucks
Exactly.
swerves them and they come out next week when it looks like they're about to win and go, nah, we're gonna restart the match and Big
Mhm.
Bill and Ricky retain. So there's so many possibilities you can go. I think we're all just very excited, but at the same time sad seeing how someone like a legendary wrestler like Sting is finally being done, but this is what its best thing about we bring it up about booking. It's just got to be the right booking.
Mhm.
So as we're coming down to the end of the show, guys, we're going to do this last one rapid fire. We're going to pick one wrestler in any promotion. It could be WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, whatever. One wrestler you want to see who has a gimmick change, whether they can, the complete gimmick change, whether turn heel or face, just one wrestler you can think of. We'll go ahead and start with you, Danny, and we'll work our way up.
Okay, I'm going to Payback 2013, Payback 2014. I was at both at the Allstate Arena. Let's go Cena. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. I was actually one of the only women in that whole building singing along with the guys that Cena sucks. I like his work that he does outside of WWE. He's fun. He is, fun to have on talk shows. Turn the man heel. Turn him heel. Give him a faction. The irony was that Hogan is around the same age that Cena is now, and he turned heel with the NWO.
No, and I like that idea. I mean, it also comes back to if Cena ever comes back full time to wrestling. He's doing very well in Hollywood. That I don't know how much time. I mean, obviously he had the writer's strike going on in Hollywood. That's why he had some time going on that he could come back and do some of the wrestling stuff because of the writer's strike. But yeah, I feel that maybe that time maybe has passed for him to turn heel as a wrestler, but maybe he'll come back and be a heel manager. Maybe something in the cards. Siren, you're one wrestler that you like to see have a gimmick change.
Everybody already knows mine. It's Orange Cassidy. Bring me Blood Orange. Bring me Blood Orange. I want to see it.
That tart orange.
Yes, I need it. I need it. We've all seen it. We've seen it, especially in his feud with Pac. He can get pretty nasty. And I want to see that all the time. He's already with Danhausen. Why not just bring out very evil Danhausen with Blood Orange all the time? If you want to keep him as a meme, he can be Blood Orange's manager. He cursed him. Now everybody is very evil all the freaking time. Give it to me. Sorry.
And I think on that take on that with Orange Cassidy, I think because he's got too much of a fan base and the kids love him and everything like that, it's going to be very hard to see heel. But you're seeing more of like a hard hitting, more serious side of Orange Cassidy. But we'll see with booking and see where they do with that, and basically where he goes after losing. Because I do believe he'll lose the title to Roderick Strong at Revolution. That's just my prediction. Amer, how about your take on one wrestler you'd like to see a gimmick change?
Okay. Because I think it's run its course, and I think because he's ready to be elevated to a different level, Chad Gable. I'd like to see them do something different with Chad Gable, right? The Alpha Academy thing is dumb. That's subjective, but it's run its course. Do something different with this guy. Have him come out. They tried to do this thing with Gunther, and that turned into a whole stop-start thing. Talking about finishing stories, that's a story that needs to be finished. I'd like to see Chad Gable move to a different kind of level.
No, and I agree. Chad Gable, obviously, this generation's Kurt Angle. We don't deserve a wrestler like Chad Gable. He's put on so many good matches, especially his series against Gunther. He's definitely right up there. That can be part of that WWE for a very long time. If used right, he could be a singles champion at some point. So I obviously would love to see him go like that Kurt Angle heel, like I'm better than all of you. Like I've won medals. I've been like all this stuff. So I like that take on Chad Gable. Connor, you're one wrestler you'd like to see have a change in gimmick.
John Moxley. For me, I don't even like watching anything he does anymore. To be honest, like every time he comes on, I'm ready to just tune out for a little bit. I don't know if it's just a gimmick change or a booking change, because sometimes it can be like a character and then a different booking. I'm just tired of the same old stuff. The BCC comes out, wins by submission, the same endings all the time. It's just the same stuff over and over and over. I think maybe Moxley going on his own again, because I thought he was the Stone Cold of AEW when AEW first started in 2019. Him and Jericho's feud. He was basically the Stone Cold of AEW. The one time where he joined the Inner Circle and then smashed the beer bottle onto Jericho. I was very Stone Coldish, like that. Like that's probably what he would have done. And like he was good. He was, they call it unscripted violence. He was unscripted violence in AEW. I think maybe them doing a story, him splitting away from the Blackpool Combat Club. I know him and Danielson feuded one time, but then they turned it into the Blackpool Combat Club. But Danielson's gonna be part-time pretty soon, so I don't know if they'll do that. But something different with Moxley. I think the character's fine. Like, he doesn't really need a whole makeover, but
I'm gonna follow this up as I'm a massive Moxley fan, and I love everything that he does, and I still feel like he needs a refresh. I really do. I really do. I feel like now that he's come back and he's been sober for a bit and he's been doing his thing for a bit, he's clearly back on his game. He's in awesome shape physically. I do think that he needs a rework with his character. I think it'd be super awesome to see. And I love the man. Like, and I think he's great.
Yeah, I like Moxley too. He's been one of the workhorse of AEW. Like, if he had to have his legs cut off, he'd probably still try to find a way to wrestle.
Oh, he would.
He'd probably still be bleeding. He'd be like, "Get me in the ring. This is gonna be awesome on TV."
Yeah, he's like, "Throw me off the cage with no legs."
Exactly.
He's a person that would wrestle no matter what. So
yeah, and I agree with you, Connor. Though he definitely needs a refresh, something different, even if it's just like a tweak or two. Like it doesn't even need to be a full character rework, just a tweak or something, maybe.
Yeah, no, and these are all great choices. And again, this is why we do fantasy booking, just because it's something we can shake up and, see what we want to see in the landscape of pro wrestling. Because again, on this show, we're called All Elite Wrestling, but we talk all wrestling, especially people that just love the history of pro wrestling and just want to see it keep succeeding today. First of all, let me thank all you guys for coming on tonight. This was a very fun episode. I'm glad we can do it again because of the shakeup. We hadn't done it in a while. And thank you everybody who tuned in to watch and comment, everybody in the comment section. Be sure we share this, guys. Be sure you hit the like button, the share, subscribe. We're doing pretty good. We're in a new year, so we're going to try to get that subscriber number up. We're also on Spotify. We're on Twitch. We're all over the place. And make sure you guys catch our Canadian friends, both Siren and Aimer, up on AEZ Canada, which premieres every Saturday. So make sure you guys check them out. We also have live reactions every Wednesday night for Dynamite, every Friday for Rampage, and Saturdays for Collision, sometimes pay-per-views. We just did a Royal Rumble pay-per-view live reaction. Then before that, we had World's End. So we do shake it up a little bit. And we'll also catch some of our interviews. I know we're working on a big interview coming up. Really can't share who it is because Connor's still working on it. But no, make sure you guys, keep subscribing, keep listening. Before we're out of here, Connor, you're the producer. Do you have any other announcements you need to make?
Yeah, there will be. I would say next week there will be a new guest announcement. Not the big name that we're talking about, because I'm pretty sure I have a set date on the big name, but I don't want to share it yet because I'm actually making a little something for it. So it'll be announced. I probably won't tell anybody. I'll just drop it. But there will be next week a guest announcement. Not the big name, but there will be a guest announcement possibly next week. This person was in WWE, currently in TNA. Yeah, they was in WWE for years. They came in as a fan, actually. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, will be announced next week at some point.
Awesome. Yeah, and again, thank you all for being on here. Again, I want to thank Danny and Siren, Amer and Connor. Thank you guys for always joining me on this show. It's always fun to talk about different perspectives of this, the entertainment and the sport of pro wrestling. And if there's nothing else, we will see you guys tomorrow for our Rampage Live reaction. And as always, good night.
Night.
Yeah, nice.